Hey, good morning, everyone. This morning we're going to be talking about faking confidence. That's going to be interesting. Welcome to 7 a.m. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. Welcome to 7 a.m. It is March 25th, 2021. It is Thursday, and it is chilly again. I got my little beanie hat here. Okay, so hope everyone's having a wonderful morning out there. Before we get started, I wanted to do a shameless plug for my wife's business. um, because we just got these wonderful, this is my wife's artwork on a mug. We just bought this mug. It's actually a big mug. I didn't anticipate it to be this big, but I figured I'd get a nice hefty one for my morning coffee, and it arrived yesterday, and I think it's just gorgeous. It's very, very like nice looking, fancy looking. It's unique. You can only get this design from our site. It's my wife's art. It's just a painting of this. You can get a print with this as well. And you can get anything put onto this, which is I thought was pretty cool. So anyway, I just wanted to validate my wife for having such wonderful talent and for expanding her business so well and for getting me this. And I thought it was great. If anybody's interested in taking a look, you can always go right here to yourwholesomejourney.com. That's yourwholesomejourney.com. And you can take a look at all the rest of the stuff. She also has cell phone covers and a whole bunch of other cool things with her artwork. So yeah, very proud of her. She's doing fantastic. All right. So, uh, my wife and I talk about this quite a bit actually about confidence and because she was just saying the other day how because we're having a conversation. We talk a lot about about stuff, and we were having a conversation about growing up and how the struggles that you have as a young person. And her reality was that she always felt that everyone around her was just completely confident, and she was the one that was completely insecure. And that's a parenting issue. That's something to do. I mean, that's my opinion. Um, as an expert on being a uh, a child and a teenager and an adult, um, I can tell you that when you get older, the experiences you had as a child around your family become more. Uh, they become more in control of things, and they probably always were, to a certain degree, but as you get older and you start having life experiences, and you really can't resolve certain things, or you can't handle certain things, it's something to do with upbringing, something that happened to you as a child that you're still manifesting. um, and we were talking about this, and my wife is she's confident, but she's not really good in social situations. She's much better. I mean, she's gotten a lot of training and gotten a lot of studies in our religion, and she's really been able to find herself and really and have this wonderful art business right now, and create these wonderful pieces of work, and then start her website and a business, and selling things, and really she's completely fine. But she was telling me about how when she was younger, she just felt that everyone was so much more confident than her, and having, you know, all these successes so young, and laughing and hanging out. And she just felt she was insecure and didn't fit into that. And I remember thinking growing up, when I left my home in the South Bronx, I moved into an apartment with about it was like five of us in this railroad apartment on 211 West 85th Street. Is where we lived. And right on the corner there was a fufu coffee shop. It's probably still there. It's called French Roast. It's one of those coffee shops where all the employees, the guys that worked there were gorgeous dudes with tight shirts, and the girls were like incredibly hot. Um, where everybody wore black, and all the furniture was made of like some kind of thick mahogany wood that was just literally just taken off the from a forest and just put a couple of legs on it and they threw it out there. So it was one of those kind of places. Um, Coffee was terrible, but but anyway, I digress. But anyway, there was this place in the corner that I would always hang out with, because that's where everybody went. Even though I didn't like going there, I rarely went, but once in a while, I'd just step in there with some friends. And if you were to look at us from a distance as a group of 6 to 7 of us, maybe 10 of us actually, that were just living together in the area, we were all involved in our church. We were all musicians. Some of us were in bands together. There was just a lot of, it was sort of like the Friends, the TV show Friends, but on the Upper West Side. And it was in the 90s, right? So this whole world that we kind of lived in, if you were looking from the outside, you would look and you would see us laughing, and it would look like it was a tremendously confident group with a lot going. And we were confident, and we had a lot going, but nobody was 100% confident. I mean, trust me, we had all tremendous issues, and we were talking about some of the things that went on during that time. I was kind of just went into story mode and started telling stories. And she was she was kind of amazed because she thought, oh my God, I had no idea that, because she came into my life towards the tail end of that. This was from 95 to about 2000, and was this whole world where I was living in, right? And so from when I was in my 20s till early 30s, right? That whole little block of time, 6 to 7 years. And so she came in at the tail end of that whole world. And she knew some of, most of these people that I'm talking about now. And she just always thought they were just very confident people, and again, it's one of those things where there's a difference between faking confidence, being confident, but still having insecurities, right? And then having complete insecurities and just not being confident, right? But you can go out there as a confident person, because you can be confident in different things, right? So you can be confident in your abilities. You can be confident in your looks, right? Somebody, a really good looking person can walk out and be confident in their looks, right? You can be confident in your education, right? People that have college degrees and all, that's where they stick their confidence in that piece of parchment paper handed to them from a organization, um, and that's their confidence. People who learn how to play an instrument, or learn how to, or can sing really well, or can dance, their confidence is based in that. But it's very difficult to have just complete confidence in everything, right? Like I'm short, right? So that growing up was tough for me. I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up, and going into a store to, I made a joke yesterday on Facebook about saying that I went into this didn't happen actually to me, but that I went into a deli, and that the deli counter was so high that the guy on the other side didn't see me, so he serviced the other person that was near me, who was tall, before me. And I thought it was an outrage, and we need to end shortism, and or heightism, I called it. End heightism, because everything is being ended now, and no matter what happens. So I thought I would just be a kind of a try to be funny and post something like this. But growing up was really tough. It was really tough. Girls like tall, dark, and handsome, right? I was maybe dark. um and during those years, the formative years of where you're really trying to find love or romance, or just trying to find a girlfriend, um, it was extremely hard because I knew that some of the girls that I had approached, that I liked, I knew they liked me as a person, but I knew that it was more of a physical reason why they wouldn't just go for me. And I felt that innately. It was something that I felt inside of me. It wasn't, they didn't say it or anything like that, but I kind of knew that because I saw the guys that they did go out with later on. And it kind of that answered a lot of things for me. um but that will really shoot your confidence into the toilet, when you're out there trying to, find love. And at this point, when I was younger, I was sort of a ghetto celebrity in the in the South Bronx. And I was a break dancer, so I would go to a lot of these clubs and I would dance, and I had a little dance crew. And we would get a lot of attention, and I would get girls, liking that element of it. Now, I was short, pretty much the same size I am now when I was a teenager. Um, and So was a lot of the girls, so it wasn't really a huge issue, but then the guys that were just a little taller than me just shot up, so you start getting into your 16, 17, 18 years old, and everyone is just shot up. And that's where things really got got funky for me, right? So confidence is one of those things that when I think about it, I think about, and this is a, full disclosure, but I think of height for some reason. You know what I mean? Because that was the one thing that I really felt that I had no control over. So it wasn't like I could, if you have an education problem, or if you maybe you're just not as articulate, or maybe you can't speak well, you can work on that if you really, really wanted it to. If you wanted to get an attention, you wanted to become an actor or a dancer or a musician of some sort, you can work on those things, right? If you wanted to be a better boyfriend, right, a better girlfriend, you can work on those things. But my height wasn't my height. That was it. There was nothing I can do about it. So I had to come to terms with it, as I got older. Now, when I finally arrived to my church in 1995, I was 25 years old, and that became a a way for me to work on myself, and also at the same time be around people that I was uncomfortable, that I at the beginning was uncomfortable around, So I kind of pushed myself into a world that I really was uncomfortable with. It was in, going into Manhattan every day, being around, to be honest, being around white people, was a new thing for me. Growing up in the South Bronx, the only people that were white was some cops and teachers, and some teachers, and that was pretty much it. And so then suddenly I'm in an environment with a lot of them, a lot of white people, and of course we had all types of people, but it was an interesting melting pot. And then I was accepted there. I was working there. I was given responsibilities there, and I was dressing up better. And my confidence level started going up. I started feeling better about myself and started feeling more confident in what I was capable of achieving. See, that's another thing, that you have to really know that you can get better. Something can be done about it, right? You know that if at some point in your life you were here, and at some point in your life you can be there. Now you can decide if you're going to get worse or you're going to get better, right? That's an individual choice. That's the person's uh, ability to make that decision, whether they want to start uh, drinking to get confidence, drinking alcohol to get confidence, or doing drugs to try to fill the void of their lack of confidence and insecurities. That's the decision. Or you can go out and help yourself spiritually. You can get physically stronger. You can get mentally stronger. All these things are a personal choice of the individual. But you have that chance. You have that opportunity. Everyone has that opportunity to make that decision and say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to be better than today. And every single day, you're just a little tiny bit better. And if you're moving just a tiny, and I've spoken about this where, if you take the 10 steps forward, but you take 2 steps back, 10 steps, 2 steps, 10 steps, you're just making, but you're always moving forward. It's okay because you're moving forward. Um, and that becomes your confidence builder, because when you're productive, your morale goes up. You're right. When you're producing something, when you're creating something, that brings you joy and maybe others enjoy as well. That gives confidence. And that was one of the biggest confidence boosts for me was the band that I was in. We were putting out albums, we were playing in front of people, we were a band, we were writing songs, I was really expressing myself. When I became an actor, I was also on a film set, and I did a lot of work in a very short amount of time, and got onto some pretty big film sets, and was suddenly thrusted into this environment where I did a commercial where I walked on set and I was like, "Hi, I'm John Henry Soto." I didn't realize I had one of the more featured prominent roles in this project. And when I said, "Hey, hi, I'm John Henry Soto," a guy came and goes, "Oh, John, come here," and he whisked me through the crowd and brought me to a trailer. And I had a trailer, and I had okay, so this is where you can hang out right here. You have water there. And I remember thinking to myself, "It's what's happening? It's just so weird." And getting paid a ridiculous amount of money for the work that I did. It was a 1 day shoot, and I was just like, "Wow, what a confidence builder that is." You know what I mean? To be able to be validated for that, for your abilities, and so little by little, with training, with the stuff I've learned, actually, with a lot of the things from the Way to Happiness booklet that I talk about a lot. This actually goes deeper into things, and there's a lot more to it. But little by little, step by step, I started building confidence. I started feeling better about myself, and I started not having the insecurities about my height. As a matter of fact, I don't even think about it anymore. It's not something I address. I talk about it because I know that it can help others understand, kind of help them understand the same things that I'm going through, right? Or that I went through. And these confidence boosts that you get are created by you. They're created by your abilities to push aside these barriers or these insecurities for a second, and look forward, look ahead, look towards things that you know that you want, and things that you can achieve. When you do that, when you have that ability to do that, all that other stuff slowly dissipates. It really just starts melting away. If you're not improving yourself spiritually, I mean, spiritually, I mean, and I know people, any atheists out there, or, you can maybe think of you can do physical or maybe mental or whatever you want to do, fix your brain. But for me, it's spiritually. When you start addressing things spiritually, the rest of your life becomes so much better. You have so much more um, opportunity to help others. You have so much opportunity to really walk with your head up high. And it's because you just took a little bit of time to just dive into your own life and to examine where it is that you want to go, and to look at spirituality as a whole, as something that's really important. And whatever the religion is, I'm not talking about religion per se, I'm talking about spirituality, right? There are ways, you know technical ways that you can raise your awareness level by stripping away all the garbage that makes you feel insecure. And that's through Scientology and through my religion, right? Um, and that power of stripping away these things, and you start seeing clearer, and you start feeling like, oh my God, I had no idea that I was doing that for that many years, or I had no idea that that was one of the big problems that were stopping me. When that starts happening to you, boom, you start really improving your life to a degree that you never thought possible. And right now in my life, I'm at a point where I feel that I can accomplish anything. I can do anything. It's almost mind blowing to me from where I was to where I am. And not long ago, I'm talking about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago, last week, I just start improving and getting better and feeling more confident and taking more risks. That's another thing that I've been able to really do, where taking financial risks and winning. And not all the time, you don't win all the time, but those losses are not so they really just don't land on your shoulders and sit there anymore. You have a loss, you go, ah, man, that sucks. All right, well, let me go on to the next thing, or let me try this, or let me shift my viewpoint, or let me change something instead of this because this didn't work, and it's okay to do that. It's totally okay. So you want to gain confidence, you have to be able to live within your truth. You have to be able to live within your strength. Find out what makes you strong. Find out what's the one thing that you do really well with very little effort, and dive into that. Are you a funny guy? Are you a funny girl? Are you really a good singer? Or are you a good, I always talk about entertainment and artists, but it could be other things. Are you good with numbers? Are you good with ledgers? Are you good with computers? Are you, whatever it is, if you're not doing the things that you love to do, you're not living your full potential. You're not living life. You're really, you're settling. You're settling, and your life then is gone. It's like people are waiting for something. Now everybody's waiting for the stimulus money. I mean, everybody's like, I'm seeing all these posts, everybody waiting for this stimulus money. And then there was supposed to be another stimulus. I don't know where this money's coming from, but apparently they're just printing the machines, they're just speeding up the machine, and everybody's waiting for stimulus money. Let me tell you something, that stimulus money is not going to get you to where you want to go. It really is, unless you use it for some real enhancement, personal enhancement of some sort that gives you better ability or something. But it really, when you start just relying on this, because when you get that, then this is going to happen, you've lost. Everyone, I talk to a lot of people, and they're always constantly saying things like, well, as soon as I move and I get to this place, I think things are going to be better. As soon as I get this new job, things are going to be better. I know it. As soon as I get out of this relationship, things are going to be better. Or as soon as I find somebody that I can be with, a partner that I can really be with, things are going to be better. And this constant thing, you're living now. Life has started. You're in it. We're in it. We're all in it together, right? We're all alive. See, oxygen. We're breathing. We're flesh and bones surrounding spiritual, a spiritual being, right? And there is no waiting for anything. You're now. You're here. You're present. So start living that way. Start living to your full potential. You know, that's the only way you can get confidence, is to live your potential. Because then at the end of the day, whatever anybody says, you're like, I don't care. This is what I love to do. I'm living my potential. You don't matter, right? Others people don't matter. And I'm going to talk about this in a later, where I talk about people suppressing you, and family and friends trying to move you away from your goals, or trying to help you, because you're not filling what their expectations. People want to put people in boxes. They want to put them into a category. Okay, that's the guy, that's the accountant, that's the lawyer, that's the real estate guy, that's the office, that's the person that sells the groceries. Everything is fine. But then here comes this other person and goes, wait, you do what? Oh, that doesn't fit in with me. No, no. You know what you should do is you should go, no, 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 listen to me. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. You should actually do this. And they try to shift you, right? There's no quicker way of losing your confidence if you go along with that. If you go along with that, don't listen to anyone. Listen to your own voice, inner voice. Make sure that it's clear, that you don't have too much stuff going on. Don't put any chemicals into your body that are harmful, so you can think clearly, and make decisions based on what's the greatest good for the number of those dynamics that I always talk about, the 8 dynamics, right? You make decisions based on those 8 things, right? And to do that, if anybody's interested, you can always message me, John Henry Soto at protonmail.com, and I'll explain it more to you. I'll send you the Way to Happiness booklet for free if you're interested. I could also send you an electronic email with the booklet as well, if you don't want to have the book sent to you. Okay, folks, I want to thank you very much for listening to my rant. I don't know if it was a rant. I try not to rant. I try to just give some value and try to help people. Um, I'm constantly trying to help myself and my family. I am not a 100% confident person. I feel great. I feel a lot of potential ahead of me. I don't feel anyone can come in and say, John, you're not going to make that. I don't even know what somebody, I can't even pretend to be a suppressive person because it so doesn't affect me in any way. But, and whatever anybody says to me, even on social media, when the haters come in and post little stupid things, I kind of just laugh and go, that poor soul, that poor soul. And that is the way I feel. No one can actually, make you feel inferior, unless you permit them. Somebody said that quote. I think it might have been Eleanor Roosevelt or somebody in the past said something like that. And but yes, only you have the ability to make yourself not accept those things, and only you have the ability to improve. Right? Nothing is going to improve. Stimulus money is not going to improve you. A relationship is not going to improve you. A better job is not going to improve you. You are going to improve yourself. You are the only one that's going to improve yourself. All right, we're at 26 minutes. I wanted to tell just a quick thing. Um, there was a funny skit on SNL with Adam Sandler where he was playing a travel agent. He was doing a commercial for a travel agency, and I would get you to the best destination in the world. And he goes, but when you get there, remember, you're still with the same person. So just because you go to Paris doesn't mean that you don't bring your garbage to Paris. So if you have a bad time, it's not my agency that got you this trip. It was really, really funny. And it just went on. He goes, remember, it's the same relationship you were in New Jersey. That's going to be the same relationship that you in Italy. Nothing changes except the environment. You got to change, right? So that always like was really funny for me because it's so true. People think that by adding or moving somewhere that you're going to handle a relationship or something, and it's so not the case. A relationship has to be created, it has to be put there, and confidence. You need confidence on both sides in order to be able to function. So that was really funny. If you go check that out on YouTube, with Adam Sandler with the travel agency. All right, folks, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Once again, this is a Your Wholesome Journey mug. If anybody's interested, my wife sells these on her website, yourwholesomejourney.com. Mm. And the coffee just tastes so much better in this cup. I don't know what it is. All right, folks, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Make today great. Do what you love and take care of yourselves. I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, peace.